Hello and welcome. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is another session of Hearts of Yokai. We had a little bit of a break for various real world reasons. We are coming back with our characters here in Mobile, Alabama. We are in early 1999. Our characters were tasked with looking into the vanishing of another group of uh, 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 characters who had been taken uh, and removed from this world. Nobody knows exactly what happened to these people. They vanished during a hurricane about a year and a half ago, and they got some information on them, and some of them don't sound great. I think was the general summary. There were some things that were found out about who they were like. There were mentions of a junkyard. There were various bits and pieces that were thrown out there. Mechanically, based on the suggestion that was made last time, we now have our uh, memories move, which I put on the basic moves tab. And this is a rough version. We may decide that we need to change the parameters of it, but basically, once per session, you can flash back to a moment from your character's time before being taken, your service in the homelands, or your escape back to the real world. You narrate that event and say how a person or situation in the present reminds you of this. Then you can choose to either take a bond with the PC or NPC or clear a marked mood. And in the case of the bond, just give us a sense of how this situation or this person is reminding you of that. So this is another option beyond the support move to get bonds. So this is our second method of doing that. Um, so we take up here. We are in mid-January, cool here in Mobile, Alabama. Uh, and I think what I'd like to kind of start with is Mr. Suit. He had a kind of strong reaction to that visit to the library, right?
Hmm.
And uh, if I'm remembering who that was at the
Uh,
library.
it was Wisdom Wells.
That's right. Uh, uh, who of the PCs do you think you encounter when you come back from that? And everybody should change their name.
Hmm. Uh, I think Marrow.
Okay. Marrow, where are you when Mr. Suit comes back? Where does he cross paths with you at the apartment complex?
Think maybe I'm coming back at the same time, so we kind of catch each other coming in the door.
Okay. Mr. Suit, how does Marrow know that you're shaken?
um, it's it's a collection of little details being out of place, but I think the big noticeable thing is his hair. It is all like windswept and out of place, and you've seen him in like gale force winds, and his like plastic kin hair just does not move. Um, you weren't sure if it was capable of being any other shape.
Gotcha. Um, hi, suit.
It's what?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Yes. Wonderful.
Are you okay?
Are you? Yeah. Just great. It's everything's great. Everything's so good.
Uh, are you sure?
It's is that thunder? Did you hear thunder?
I think it was a garbage truck.
I'm pretty sure it was thunder.
Oh, well then let's go inside before we get raped up.
That's in here.
Well, this is home. What? Why don't you why don't you come for a visit my place? I, you can have something to drink, and I think I have some cookies.
Oh, that's I couldn't possibly impose. I mean, I would love to. We could set up a something for the. Do you have a calendar? It would be terribly rude.
Well, maybe just an impromptu get together.
Well, it's okay. He pulls out a pocket calendar and opens it upside down. Briefly glances at it, and okay, I think I can definitely shuffle some things. It's so kind of you.
I got new records.
Of
Uh, 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 do you
oh,
like the Indigo Girls? You'll
I
like the Indigo Girls. Everybody likes the Indigo Girls.
is it waltz?
No, it's a little folky.
Oh, how quaint.
Yeah. Well, just
He looks slightly more comfortable having something to culturally look down on for a moment. It's distracted him.
I'll kind of guide you along up towards my apartment um and let you in. It is not fancy by any stretch of imagination, but you might be sort of surprised that there is a little sense of style to it. He's sort of a minimalist, and so the things he has are actually kind of nice, if a bit secondhand. And I'll go over to my little record player and open the top of it and put the record on and start playing music, which, as I said, everybody likes Indigo Girls. You can't help but enjoy it.
I mean, it's
Uh,
very true. I
and
think as we're coming in, and especially as you're like opening up, we're going into your apartment. He's doing that same thing where he keeps making aborted attempts at like, oh, what a lovely rug, or that's so nice. Thank you. It's all of these like little niceties and politenesses that he's just getting distracted and forgetting halfway through.
once the music's playing, and I'll kind of motion you over to the fairly, like I say, fairly nice, comfortable chair. I have vodka and I have scotch.
Scotch. I mean, unless you're feeling like cocktails.
Uh, no, no, it's winter. Scotch is a good drink for winter. I'll pour us a couple of glasses and set out some cookies, because scotch and cookies. Uh,
Depends on the cookie.
yeah, probably Lorna Dunes or something. Uh, are you sure you're doing all right? You seem a little flustered.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. You shouldn't worry. I didn't mean to.
It's and I'll kind of reach over and pat your head. It's okay. You telling your friends why you're flustered is what friends are for.
And he takes a small, polite sip of the scotch and looks frustrated. You see sort of a tightening in his hand and around his eyes, and then you see him force himself, and he takes a quick succession of very small, polite sips that are maybe a bit faster than is polite, but it ends with him drinking down the scotch fairly quickly.
I will reach over and pour you a bit more. See a little fortification.
It's it's just this whole the the missing the storm. It's the storm. I just
I know they bother you.
hurricanes. I mean, why would I move to the coast here? Why did I stop here?
Well, you could have gone to Florida.
Why? Why? Wait. Why would I have done that?
I, I, I meant as in it could be worse. You could be in Florida.
Oh, yes. I mean, small blessings. Um, no, it's just there's lakes, there's rivers, large ones. They have water reservoirs still calm that don't initiate their own weather.
I Part of me wonders if there's a kernel in all of us that sort of still wants to be near the sea. I mean, not that I've traveled much. Max says that it's hard to get between cities, but from what I understand, most of our kind, I mean, you don't really have a bunch of us in the deserts.
Why not, though? You'd think that would be the easiest place, the furthest place.
Well, it's something that I think binds us all together is what we experienced. And a part of that binding requires reinforcement. We have to remember how horrible it was so that we never lose our guard. I mean, I don't think that even if we were in a desert, they wanted to come, they'd find a way. But when we're near the sea, it's always telling us they're out there. They're out there. And maybe a little of what it is that protects us from them has to do with the sea itself too.
I don't I don't know. It's just the storm makes me. Do you ever feel like we're just. This is all just a room? It's off to the side. We're just. This is all just a period where we're waiting. It's just the stop between, and then music, it's all going to start back up again.
I did for a long time. Um, when I got back, I couldn't believe it. But now there is a distinction from where we are and where we were. I know that.
Let's pause here. This feels like a moment where we can engage the mechanic, and then that may kind of tell us how the scene is going to play out here with Mr. Su. Marrow, it definitely feels like you are supporting Mr. Suit. So do you want to roll that move?
Sure. I think this is calm.
Okay.
Trying to calm him down. Yeah. Oh, oh well. That's not that well. That's a 6. Let's see. Can I play with it some? I can. I'll spend my bod to get it up to a 7.
Okay. Uh, so Mr. Suit, that can uh clear your calm if you want, or you can sit on a +1 forward.
Gotcha. I'll clear that call.
Okay. Do you think that you let Marrow know that he's helped? Or does he just pick up that he's helped, or is he uncertain? Like, what is what did Marrow get as a reaction from you?
Um, I do think over the course of a couple more classes, he does slowly calm down. And he says, I spent so long in the darkness, just waiting, hoping that I would ever hear the music start, that I would ever get to be a part of things instead of just endless waiting. And now that I know better, and now that I tell myself that that's the last thing I want, I just, I'm afraid there's still some part of me inside that as soon as that music starts, will drop everything to join in again. And these people, this hurricane, it's all just the opening bars.
Did we have to look out for each other and not not let ourselves get carried away?
I'm going to cut on that line. Um, Aldo, I have a question for you. Uh, you have the essentially the My Neighborhood move.
Yeah.
Um, what is what does your sort of patrol interaction dealing with the neighborhood? I mean, I have some vision of you padding around in coyote form, but in human form, what does your participation in the neighborhood, interaction with the neighborhood, what does that look like? Like what are the features of it, you think?
Um, hmm.
Do you just observe from a distance, or are you talking to people, or is it a mix, or is there some other thing that you're doing?
I think I do talk to people, but in just sort of a casual way. Like I don't think I don't think I or I don't think I'm close with the people in my neighborhood. I think they recognize me, um, and think I'm just like out for a jog, every morning. And I'll like stop at the convenience store and buy a soda and exchange a few words with the uh but like it's all very the actual conversation is all very surface level. Mostly I'm just watching from a distance in a way, even though I'm interacting with people.
Hmm.
The actual, observation and understanding of the place is all one way.
Okay. What is your favorite, besides the apartment building, favorite spot in these, couple of blocks surrounding?
There is there's this house that has like it's like several houses stuck together that's been added onto so much and in so many different directions, and it like the top story is half the size of the first story, and it just sort of rambles all over the place, and it's got these, big oak trees covering it, and it almost sort of like wraps through them. um and it's an apartment building that houses like a group of artists, performers, singers, just like um, some college students. Yeah, there are like three different porches going off in different directions on this house. One of them, the roof is caved in, so nobody uses that one. It is in terrible shape. It's painted five different colors.
Hmm.
Two of the windows on the top floor are boarded up from the last hurricane. Like the trees in the backyard, like there's several branches just on the ground, and there's some others that are sort of like chopped up for the fire pit. There are six different bicycles in various stages of disrepair, locked to the porch railing. Um, I have no idea how many people actually live there,
Hmm.
uh, and how many people are actually on the lease, which is like less than half of the people who actually live there. It's
I,
that kind of place.
okay. I think you've gone past that kind of pay attention early in the morning when will catch your eye is an ambulance another block down, kind of parked there in residential area, no flashers on, no police or anything, but I think that you'll see a couple of EMTs and they are rolling out a body. And I say body very specific because you can tell kind of covered. They're being kind of quiet, and you see them, rolling it out from there. Um, uh, in that area nearby, as you're kind of walking along, what is the mark, sigil, or sign that you see that's fairly fresh of the goblins or a group of goblins near that house where they're rolling this body out?
Um, it is sticks tied together in like an arrowhead shape, pointing up. So there's like one stick stuck in the ground, and then two more crossed on the top and tied to the top of it.
Okay. So what do you do?
Um, see the goblins around, or I see this sign of the goblins. I'm going to try to see if I can like follow a path, follow a scent of these goblins.
Sure. Let's have you make a study roll, and you're in your neighborhoods. I believe you get a +1 ongoing for that.
I actually need to open the roller. That's not the roller. This is the roller.
What do you want to roll that with?
Uh, Uh, I think anger. These goblins are like infringing on my territory.
Yes, they are.
And like possibly killed somebody. Well, I don't know they necessarily killed somebody, but like, I'm suspicious of it for sure. Uh,
Yeah, so let's have you roll the +2.
oops. +2
So
makes it 7.
7. So you have one hold. Uh, and I think you can definitely scent like the goblin scent is there's definitely a whiff of it coming out of the house. So you have one hold for a study question.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna go. Do I see anybody who like lives there out
They kind of look,
and about?
and it doesn't look to you like there's any other occupants. There are probably some people like neighbors that are out here, early in the morning that are kind of looking and watching this and maybe tut-tutting as they see this happening.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go up to one of them and like try to find out what's happening from them.
Okay. So yeah, you'll go and talk to them, and uh, they'll say, "Oh, that's Mrs. McInerney. She's she's never been in good health. Uh, I know the last few years they gave her oxygen, um, and she kept herself tucked in that house. Uh, lots of junk. She keeps everything. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's just sad. Um, I don't know who called it in,
Huh.
but I'm guessing a heart attack or a stroke.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. The police were here first, did a wellness check, and that was early this morning, and they took a peek inside and called the ambulance. The ambulance.
Yeah.
That's my Baltimore accent there.
Yeah, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Uh, and I am gonna try to like sneak into this house.
Okay. Um, I think it's no problem. I think that there's a lot of attention elsewhere. You can hop the back fence. The backyard has that look of a woman who maybe pays neighborhood kids every couple of months to mow, and otherwise is let go. There's a shed in the back that has a door that's kind of it's on its hinges, but you'd be afraid to open it just because of the rust. It definitely looks like it's a little unusual in that it does have, you can see there's either a root or a storm cellar door back here, but you can kind of come in through the back porch and yeah, it's not full blown scale of, you know, rating 10 hoarder, but it's definitely like a 7. Like all the
There are still bare trails between the piles of stuff.
yeah, there's a lot of boxes that have been flattened down and some attention and that that thing that tells you that somebody has moved things from one place to another place to kind of maybe straighten things up. The the room that has there's a big front window with curtains and such and but there's a TV and a big nice recliner that's very worn. That area is very clear. around that. But like looking up around here, it's probably one floor with the
Mhm.
there are paths to get to places.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. I'm looking for signs of like what goblins might have taken from this place. This seems like goblin heaven.
Sure. Let's have you. Well, here, no, I'll tell you, and then we'll cut to Lily. I think you'll move around here. And there is a look that you tell of somebody having kind of gone through not a taking pass, but a preliminary, like what's all here kind of pass.
Mm.
But when you're in the kitchen, you get a real strong whiff of goblin, and you will find there is a small door that there's stuff in front of it, like it's clearly not been used in a long time. Stuff maybe has been shoved away on occasion, but you open it and there's a tiny little like homemade steps going down into the cellar,
Mhm.
and you can smell the damp, and there's like go to hit the light bulb, and the light bulb doesn't work. uh so you just kind of get a glance down in there, smell the damp. You can see that there's stuff stored down in there, but you can tell that the water here has soaked into these things,
Mhm.
and not the natural water. You can feel the bleed of the undertow
Okay.
into this basement.
Huh. Okay.
We'll come back to you. Lily.
Um,
So, Lily, what else are you doing to get this party started?
so I'm finding the site and I have a lead. One of the teachers at the school that I was essentially substituting at mentioned that her parents ran an RV park. And it's called the Holiday RV Park. Well, they've just gotten over their holidays with Christmas and all of that stuff, and they need to clean it up. But her mother is in the hospital. And so she was upset because she would have to go and take care of all of that stuff. The thing is they have like a little community center in there. So I had a discussion with her and I said that I would go and do that work if I could have access to the community center for a get together of some of my friends.
Absolutely.
It sounds like disaster waiting to happen.
So you will get there,
Mhm.
and I think that you'll be shocked. The description of what needed to be cleaned up was perhaps underselling what needs to be done.
Hmm.
Um, the 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 detritus from the porta potties and the garbage left around and the areas that need to be cleaned up and the New Year's party materials and all of that. It's the kind of work that would take you by yourself a week, but you have access to contracts, to magic, to these kinds of things. And if you wanted to, you could certainly call on those packs and magic, the skills given to you as one of the Sunken, to
Indeed.
let
I
you
mean,
take care of this task.
I am not just me. I am also many, many others who were before me. So I have some memory of what it is that they could do, what they knew in the world. To know what seems like a good a good option. I can choose any move I want.
Well, optionally, we have the invoke contract.
Oh, okay. So you would like me to invoke a contract, is what I'm hearing. Okay.
I'm kind of pointing you this way because it's a mechanic we haven't engaged in, and it's a pretty powerful and flexible one. So
it is. So let's give it a try. Let's see here. So
I think this is still, despite its scale, a modest magical effect, a classic magical effect.
it is, isn't it? All right. So let's see here. Where is the thing for defining them? So that
So basically, under invoke contracts on the basic moves,
thank you.
The very first basic move, in fact.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, so when I use my nature to create a modest or cosmetic magical effect, name it and it happens. I call on greater powers, mark sinking and roll. On a hit, choose one. On a 10 plus, I name the catch. I may mark a mood to take an additional effect.
Yeah. So right now, this is a modest effect. And so I will let you describe what that looks like. Alternately, if you'd like to try and get some interesting additional benefit of some kind, you could also roll.
Okay. I suppose I should try rolling.
I'm always good with that.
Yes. And so I do
What
think
is it you want to have happen here to this place to shape it to your desires? You want to clean it, but beyond that, you have the chance to kind of set something in the community center as you would wish.
yes, I want it to be festive. There's going to be a celebration. So I want a sort of that sense of festivity, of celebration to the thing. So that what is done, I mean, it is called the Holiday RV Park. So I've got the materials here. It's just that perhaps they're a little drab. It would be me livening those things up.
Perfect. Mark sinking and roll.
All right, here we go. And when you mark sinking, do you choose a stat or do you just roll straight?
So you choose what stat you want to roll with.
Okay.
And you just put a mark on your sinking track.
Okay, that is what I'm going to do then. I'm finding all of these things. Oh, put a mark. You can choose a drop down. Okay, and I'll roll joy. This seems like such a good idea. I am so clever for thinking of this, aren't I?
Absolutely.
I am. Thank you for calling my attention to this. Okay, so this is Lily. Oh, gosh, she's not on the list. Oh, here it is. All right. So I'm rolling 2d6. I'm adding 2. All right. So that's a 13.
13. So what is the little like payment kind of sacrifice ritual that you have to do? You get to name the catch, the hook here.
Oh, I think it's that she's just bought some really cute shiny tights. And she's setting up the fire to burn the like old Christmas trees and stuff that have dried out and are on the edge of the thing and are just a complete fire hazard. But she knows how to handle fire, don't worry. But I think that like when she's doing that, she gets a sense that she has to burn her sparkly tights as well. And they were dear to her, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And it will be, when you are done, it will be potently festive here. Compared to naturally festive, clean and beautiful, and anyone who comes here who knows that you did this will be in admiration of what you have done.
It's important.
Does that seem fair?
Yes, it's the perfect setting for Marrow and his true love. Then I
Marrow,
feel a little sad.
yes. Marrow, after you've kind of talked Mr. Suit down a little bit, there, uh, you will get a phone call. They call you down to the telephone in the breezeway. Um,
Hello?
and it is Wales.
Hello? Uh, Wisdom, what, Miss Wales, Wisdom Wales?
Marrow, I just wanted to check to make sure that Mr. Suit got home okay.
Oh, um, he did. We had a couple of drinks. Did you, did you see him? Did something happen?
He came by the archive today, and it seemed like he had a question, but he did not ask the question. And instead, he seemed to grow out of sorts.
Oh, um, I- things that have to do with the storms can very much bother him.
I
I
see.
think he was probably coming to ask about some people that we're looking into, and I'll give their names real quick.
Ah, why are you looking into them?
Um, well, the higher ups are a little interested in just, I think, checking down some loose ends, and you know, we're at the bottom of the ladder looking, getting sent to do menial work.
All right, all right. Well, I just wanted to check on that.
Don't suppose you've ever heard of them.
Oh, I'm well aware of those names. Yes.
I don't suppose that uh, I don't suppose Aldo might could drop by and you give that information to them if they have a chance.
There's a pause there. Sure.
That's very nice of you. And it was also very nice of you to call to check on Mr. Suit. I'll make sure he knows that you were concerned.
Thank you. And thank you for filling in some of the pieces for me as to what was going on. I don't like being unaware of situations.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
You expect maybe like a polite response, but there's a long pause on the line that holds for a while where you can tell that she's really chewing over that. And she says, there may be in the future, I may need help.
Hmm. Well, I suppose that if there's something I can help you with, that Well, we're all one big family here in Mobile, aren't we?
Yes. I may need a second for someone or something. I mean,
Do I know what that entails? What that
no, you're not.
means?
It's just like you're not sure what she's saying there. I don't think precisely.
Well, I- if I can spare you a second, I certainly will be happy to.
Thank you. I will take you up on that. I will tell you when the duel is, and we'll make arrangements
Duel?
for you to stand there with me.
Uh, oh, oh no, a duel?
Yes, I needed a second for a duel that I have coming up.
Oh, I don't think I quite understood, but it's a shame that I hope that things work out so it isn't in that serious a thing.
I hope so as well. It's nothing to worry about. It's a goblin. I don't think there'll
Oh,
be a problem.
I see. Well, then, uh, I look, well, I guess I don't really look forward to hearing because that sounds terrible, but uh, okay.
Okay.
Um, just out of interest, why me?
I don't know, but you're the first person who offered to help me.
Oh, well, that's sad.
Oh, there's a silence there that, well, I'll call you back later. And then a click. Well played, Marrow. Um, let's let's bring the group together to talk and another day or two later. Um, uh, actually, let me flashback. Let me do finish out Aldo's scene, and then let me bring the group back together. Aldo, you look down into this damp, stinking of the Undertow basement.
Yeah. And I super do not want to go down there, but I do.
Absolutely. Uh, I would like you to roll a roll for me, I think, here.
Okay.
I think this is going to be stay strong.
Okay. It's pretty obviously fear.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, 11.
I
Okay.
think you will step carefully on these steps. I think you will see the steps that are kind of softened wood, kind of step over to the edge to make sure you don't step in the middle. And then you step over the couple of trip traps that goblins have clearly put here. Um,
Yep.
and you'll walk down. And I think you can tell that the in the real world the basement is damp, like it the ground has gotten damp, the cement is damp to the touch, all of that, and all of that moisture has gotten into all of these boxes. They're all sodden. But I think you can also see that the water of the undertow is about up to your knees in here. And you're kind of walking through that liminal state Um, and you can see that various boxes have been marked, and this is very clearly the goblins have made this into all this stuff has been stored here by this woman over their life. Various things are marked. They're marked, with room names and dishware and,
Mhm.
Johnny stuff and things like that. But you can tell that the goblins have been down in here marinating and basting these boxes with the Undertow. Um,
Yeah.
and it is a vault of weird goblin magically contaminated shit. I think there's a lapping of water at one spot where you can see that that's where if you walked further, you could start to walk into the real waters, into the shallows and such. This is more of a kind of a bleed up from that. But you don't see any goblins in here right now.
Okay. I think I'm like muttering to myself about how if it weren't so damp, I'd like to burn this place down. But it's too damp. uh, but I do kind of look through the boxes and see if there's anything that I want to take, um, just to take it away from the goblins. And while I'm walking through there, I like take out a cigarette and light it just to like to have another smell here that isn't related to the Undertow.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Um, why don't you make me a roll? We'll see the quality of the success here as much as
Okay.
anything. You're going to get something. We'll see kind of the quality here.
Okay. What is this? And I think it's a form of fear, even though I'm pretending it's not at this point.
Oh yeah, no, that seems fair.
Uh, 9.
That's a 9. All right. Why don't you roll me a D200 three times?
Okay. 148,
140.
167,
Okay.
and 109.
109. You will find in here uh there are some things that sing to you. There's a lot of stuff here that is that kind of like it Undertow breaks down a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
It mushes things together. It washes them like flotsam and jetsam, wears away. But sometimes things get better. And you will find there is an electric best needle, a reptilian melancholic shawl,
Okay.
and an organic exciting sweater.
Okay.
These are all items that feel like they have a life and a personality and a magic to them. Like these are the things that the goblins have been brewing up here. Um, and you can find a like a Piggly Wiggly bag, and you can
Mhm.
stuff those in there if you want to take them.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Uh, and I stub out my cigarette on the top step and leave it right in the middle.
Okay. Perfect. And so we will cut to the group together. I imagine with this bag on the table between all of you.
Ooh, sweater is awesome.
What what you got?
Uh, some stuff the goblins well left in the Undertow to soak in it. And I hand the organic exciting sweater to Lily. This seems like something
Ooh,
you might like.
I love it. I love it. It makes me want to go buy flowers.
What
What
color is this organic, exciting sweater, Lily?
I think that it's clearly looks hand knitted and it runs from avocado to orange, but by way of a sort of pinks in the middle. So it kind of looks like it ripens up one arm and then goes back to green and then ends up at orange at the last cuff. And there's just and the curves in it are very organic. Like they're very like it's not like they're perfectly round and symmetric. They have that kind of uh they have natural curves, but they aren't perfect. And they just feel it like it looks really good when you put it on you. So
And what do you think it means that it is exciting? Does
I
it
think
ignite something? Does it cause passions? What does that mean here for this object?
it's exciting because you can't not look at me when I'm wearing it.
Okay.
So that's it. So for me, it's very exciting because everyone's paying attention.
Okay.
What a boisterous collection of colors.
Isn't it wonderful? It feels right, doesn't it?
it's
It does
very
seem to have your
you.
name on it.
It does, except that my name isn't actually on it, but it just if it knew that it was for me. What do you think, Marrow?
I think I think it's very pretty. It suits you because it's bright and happy.
You and she'll kiss you on the forehead and pirouette away. I love it. Thank you. Ooh. And she sort of stops and says, "But what is this?" And she is going to point at that needle.
I am not sure.
Tell me, Aldo, is it like a sewing machine needle? Is it like a standard sewing needle? Is it like a uh,
Knitting needle.
knitting needle? Like what kind of needle is
Ooh,
it?
tattoo needle.
To tattoo needle?
Uh it's it's from some industrial equipment.
Okay.
I am not sure, like in or out of character, like what exactly it's from, but it's very large. It's too big for a sewing machine.
Hmm.
Um, but it does have an eye in this like so it's like a
Oh,
giant sewing machine, like a sewing machine you might use to, I don't know, make
Okay,
sails.
industrial, like for sales or for leather or those kinds of things. You've seen
Yeah.
those
mm,
Mhm.
things. It's one of those very big ones, and it is like it is. You actually don't even want to get your finger anywhere near the tip of it. It looks like it's so brilliantly sharp. Uh, but I think also, there is the crackle of electricity off of it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
there's a charge to it.
you can't like anytime you touch it, you feel like you've just, shuffled across a rug in your socks and about to touch this metal. Even if like even in the dampness of that basement.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and and I think of course it has to be like an electric blue color too.
Oh yeah,
It,
it's that color that like heat blue, like it's been
Hmm.
heated so much it's got
mm.
sort of rainbowy color to
Yeah.
it.
That looks very dangerous.
It does. It does. It looks almost you can almost use it as some sort of weapon.
Weapon. It's obviously made for making things.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know,
It's
sewing
a holster.
tarps. It's something.
Or
Maybe holsters. Maybe that's what it was used to make.
Well, it could use a holster or
Belts,
something
I
to
don't know.
hold it, you know.
It could. I think I'm gonna find something to sort of wrap it up in. I think it could be useful, but I just don't know what for.
Just make sure it doesn't rattle around. I don't think it wants to rattle around.
Maybe I'll put it in a glass jar.
It'll definitely rattle around.
Well, yeah, but then it's, contained.
Like insulated, you mean?
Actually, I'm thinking, does glass insulate? Maybe it's plastic. I don't know. I didn't get to physics. I took chemistry. I had to take chemistry twice and barely passed it.
And the other thing is like a metal.
It is a reptilian melancholic shawl.
Yeah.
obviously.
Melancholic, not metal. Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is
Is it a shawl like a veil, or is it a shawl like a old lady's kind of around your shoulder shawl?
it's I think it's just like a rectangle. Um, Maybe more like a prayer shawl.
Okay.
Uh, but it's knitted and it's knitted with cables in such a way that it looks like scales.
Mm,
Oh.
nice. Nice. And I think it definitely has to feel like this feels like an object of the Court of Lanterns. It has that melancholic sadness vibe to it.
Yeah, yeah. And like I don't know why, but almost I feel like whoever made this was unhappy when they were making it.
I'll kind of run my finger down it.
It
Yeah.
feels like lizard skin when you touch it.
Ooh, the stitches are very tight.
All right, so it's almost rough.
It
Then I run my
does.
fingers like backwards along it, like wow, yeah, that's
Yeah, it does. It feels like it's seeds of things.
Man, that shawl has seen some shit.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Tyler? I didn't catch it.
It's seen some things.
Seen some things, yeah. Yeah. Well, most recently it's seen an old lady's basement.
Well, I think you'd look quite fetching in it.
And I like sort of drape it over my shoulders and like, yeah, I kind of like it. Not usually my thing, but I kind of like it.
Did it just
Very sincere.
Speaking of goblins, I'm going to be seconding someone in a duel against a goblin.
What?
what?
Wisdom Wales called and was checking in to make sure you were all right. So, she had been concerned, said that when you were there that you'd had a bit of a turn. But I told her you were fine, and then she asked me for a second, and I was like, sure, if I've got a second, I'm willing to spend it. And then I found out I'm going to be with her when she duels a goblin.
Oh. Do you have a weapon prepared?
Actually, I just bought this awesome thing.
Oh yeah, what
Am I
was
going
it?
to have to fight?
Dave.
Well, you'll have to be ready to fight. That's the point of being a second. Otherwise, it would be irresponsible. Do you have your affairs or a will, something like that, put together?
I don't really want to fight anybody.
Oh, you shouldn't have agreed to be a second then. That's a very serious duty.
Oh, oh. Well, I mean, I'm guessing that she's the one that's going to want to fight.
Yes, in an ideal circumstance, but unforeseen edge cases, hence seconds.
Oh, I don't even know this goblin. Why would I want to fight them?
Why is she fighting them? That's why you're fighting them.
Oh, and she didn't say. In fact, she sort of clammed up, and I asked like, why you want me to do this? And she said nobody else would help.
She, Lily kind of stops and she goes, second does try to reconcile with the other party. Their party should have a second as well, and the two of you should be attempting to negotiate. However, you probably need to know what you have at hand to negotiate with,
Hmm.
because it's a goblin.
Um, well, hopefully they'll be interested in. I mean, surely they don't really want to get hurt.
Did the goblin challenge wisdom?
She didn't really say. In fact, she, like I say, really shut. I was kind of surprised she asked. I didn't think she liked me very much. I have no
Well,
idea why. I've never done anything to her.
she did ask you to potentially give up your life for undisclosed reasons in case she, bugs out. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like the actions of someone who really has your best interests at heart.
Uh, you think she could do that?
Again, these are why there are seconds. Even if she leaves, the question of the goblin's honor, still has to be answered. It's been thrown up in the air, and things can't just go on without an answer to it. So someone will fight over it.
Well, if
Or
she
they'll
doesn't show up,
reconcile.
they'll reconcile. But if she doesn't show up, then do I have to get a second? Because then I wouldn't be a second anymore. I'd be a first.
Well, I mean, you could plan for contingencies all the way down, but it just gets ridiculous after a while. And generally, two is enough.
Oh, hmm. I'm beginning to think I shouldn't have agreed to this.
It's very kind of you, Marrow.
Well, it all sort of steamrolled along, and I really hadn't thought that's what I was saying. And then she became very reticent to talk a great deal about it. Then I felt sort of stuck, and you know, she was like, nobody was helping. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. And I couldn't say then, eat grass.
Well, no, not after having agreed to it. I mean, not without according the possibility of a secondary duel yourself. Just get very complicated. But you do, if you're interested, have certain rights in this situation. You've agreed to join her side and help her out. She is bound to explain the situation to you, at least in passing detail, if you force her to.
Oh, okay. Um, will you help me with this suit?
I will not second for you.
Okay.
I'll
But
help you, Marrow.
But other than that, yes.
when she calls back, you'll kind of help me talk and find out what's going on.
Ah, yes, that's fine, certainly. Advisory.
She seems to like you.
That's she was rather nice. I would be saddened to see her stabbed to death by a goblin.
Yeah, that would really be bad.
Or shot? Is it a guns thing?
Oh, I hope not. I've never shot a gun.
Come on, I feel like we need to start a list of questions for you. Let's go get a piece of paper.
Let's take our first break, and then we'll come back to the chat amongst the four of you. So, let's go to 10 after, and then we'll come back.
Yep.
So we cut back to the group, uh, you know, relaxing around the table in kind of the rec room of the apartment complex, where the laundry area is next door. It's probably nicely warm in here, just because of all the dryers, badly vented. It is a little moist, but it is warm. It's it's one of those places with the classic sort of old school vending machines. So, there's the big clear glass front with the cheapest shit in it, like generic knockoff potato chips and pick a chick candy and all that sort of like second tier regional candy bars and
Chicken
stuff.
chicken is the best. So
And there's an RC Cola machine across the way. It has RC Cola and Upper 10 and Tab. Uh, and there's a cigarette dispensing machine in here. Where we have to kind of
knobs.
pull the knob back really hard to get them to come out. So
They
yeah,
were put in the 50s, and you can tell it from the way the plastic on the knobs is aged.
yep, that little bit of yellow.
Mhm.
It's out of my Tinkle's gas station. So yeah, the four of you talking there. So is there anything else you want to discuss plan wise or interaction wise or what to do next wise before we kind of move to another once around?
I heard about that group had like a hangout in a junkyard.
Mhm.
Maybe if we could find that, it would give us a lot of clues. Did we, Lowell, did they give us like anything other than their names? Do we know what they look like? Did they give us a picture or anything?
We will assume that you have been given a basic description. Uh, Basically, what you see in the NPC tab is kind of what you know. Name, a basic description, what their kind was called.
Okay, but no picture of them.
Well, you don't give it a photograph, but you definitely given it enough of a physical description to work from.
Gotcha.
The thing is, they do like they will describe to you what their sunken form look like. They don't tell you what I mean. They do what they would have looked like to anyone else.
hmm. If we could find that hideout, that would tell us a lot. I
Okay.
was thinking of trying to do a little magic bit to see if we could narrow it down and find what junkyard it is. But it sure would help if we had anything that was theirs or an image of them. If
Okay.
not, it would be a pretty blind shot. I could try. We could try. I would certainly appreciate the help.
I got the impression that the widow Macton was related to what was her name?
Korea.
The witch. And she had been in her coven at some point. Apparently had an argument with some of the members there left though. That's all I found out.
He was a witch as well, or was
Yeah,
witchy?
at least for a while.
Huh.
Huh.
There was the one whose name's Sanguinius. Do you think she has some tie to the vampires?
Possibly.
Wasn't there some weird story about like one of the five getting kicked to the curb?
Those are immortals. Those aren't vampires.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But there are vampires in town, of course. Obviously, it's a supernatural town in the South. There's got to be at least a couple of vampires
Yeah, but
lazing
they're all like on the
about.
police department, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what are the immortals if they aren't vampires?
You don't know.
But
Interesting.
they're not. Yeah, all we ever knew about them is that they're super. You shouldn't mess with them, and they're powerful both kind of in real world and being endlessly living peoples.
I just assumed they were vampires.
Well, it
Because
doesn't
it's
sound
not
like
like they're
it.
fighting
Yeah.
swords with each other, like there can be only one kind of thing, right?
Oh, that's a good movie.
Maybe, who knows?
Good TV show, says somebody from the other room.
Yeah.
Well, that was on about this time, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
Oh,
90s
I
is
think, yeah,
the high tide of the Highlander shows.
yeah.
And the
Such tight
Raven.
pants, such blousy shirts.
This is romantic.
Yep. Filmed
Pretty
in
boys.
Canada. And so obviously filmed in Canada.
Yeah,
It is eternally
maybe
fall
slightly
weather.
less obviously than X-Files, but
Yes.
which was also filmed in Canada around the same time. And Stargate, also filmed in Canada around the same
Yep.
time. It was just,
A lot of stuff gets up there in Canada.
yeah.
It's affordable.
Yeah, I think the immortals are. I think they're their own thing, whereas the vampires are like drinking blood and can't come out in the daylight.
Okay. So anyway, I wonder if Sanguinius messed with them. Not that I want to go talk to any of them, if there are some. Oh,
I mean,
Don't know.
maybe.
Max didn't know much about them, and oh, Aldo, actually, if you want to go speak with Wisdom Wales, she said that she would give you some information she has on them.
Uh, okay, sure.
wait,
Um,
Aldo or Mr. Suit?
it was I mentioned to Aldo just
Oh,
because I was getting the impression that she wasn't really like it. And then she asked me to help her kill somebody, so maybe we were closer than I thought. But
Still not quite. We'll work it out.
maybe you could get some information out of her, Aldo, if you're willing to go and visit.
Sure. Yeah. I don't have any I don't think I have any arguments with her.
Well, any other ideas, folks?
no, I like the junkyard thing. But don't forget we have a party that we're planning for. So you were going to help
Oh, yeah.
Nameless get ready for that.
Who? Huh? What?
Nameless? The party?
Yes, a party.
Yeah,
I'm not supposed to help him get ready for anything.
he's gonna need help. He's got to get it all set.
I'm sure he'll do fine.
You don't want to help him?
Get ready for this party? No.
I mean, she won't be there.
Well, maybe, but
I'm sure he would be very grateful.
I suppose I could call and at least see if he needs any help with something.
I bought all the decorations, the party decorations, and she'll hand you the bags. He's gonna need some help. I'll get the map out and look around for junkyards, okay?
All right.
Good idea. I'm just gonna look over at her. I'm like, call him. You have a perfectly good excuse to call him.
I'll give you the address. He doesn't even know where it is. You can show him.
He's with someone. This party is for his girlfriend.
You can help him get ready for it. It's gonna take you guys all day. Look at all the stuff I bought.
Making me a homewrecker.
Maybe she's wrecking the home.
If you think about it, really.
Mhm.
It's all about a better perspective at home.
So let's do another once around. And Mr. Suit, what is it that you want to do?
I have an intensely bad idea.
Do tell.
Oh, did you think of something else that's exciting you that's unrelated to what I just said?
No. I can barely contain myself.
He's still like trying to process and deal with this whole storm thing and also his whole reaction to it. And Marrow has given him some calm and some control on it to pull on, and so he has convinced himself that the best way to deal with this and push forward with this is to just go headlong into it. So I want to go into the Undertow.
Okay.
To try and find out information about that storm.
The storm that hit that 18 months ago?
Yes.
Okay.
The hurricane. I believe, and Marrow has helped solidify in my mind. Nothing happens randomly. It is all planned out in some way. So either someone sent that storm here then, or someone called that storm to here. And that's sort of the information or the angle that I'm looking at.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll. What is it that you want to roll with? And then we'll talk about what it looks like to enter into that and what this feels like.
It's still fear.
Okay.
It is manageable fear, but I think it's still just a lot of this is a terrible idea. I have to do it. No, this is a terrible idea. No, I have to do this.
Absolutely. So let's have you roll with fear.
That is A6.
Yes.
But I do have a bond with Wisdom Wales, who was kind enough to check in on me after that whole thing.
And you want to learn something about the world.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want as the cost for doing this? As you may notice, there is always a cost for this. You get to pick one, and then I get to pick one.
Yes, they're all very good in different ways. Yeah, I mean, I'm going straight into the Undertow and seeking information about hurricanes. This is all the stuff I really shouldn't be doing. I draw attention.
Okay. And I think I'll have you mark sinking as well. How do you move into the undertow? Like, what is it that you do to where's the water that you use? Is it more metaphorical, or do you find a literal space of water? What is that?
I think it is actually at the shore
Okay.
at the coastline. And I think there is like it's not secret, but it's a little hidden. It's like this alcove that's sort of hard to see mostly unless you're out at water. And I think maybe it's like where he, sort of where he came back out from. Um, and he goes there and starting a couple dozen feet away from the shifting waves, starts slowly and then faster and faster spinning in these precise steps of a waltz that like leave these footprints in the sand behind him, until the waves start lapping up at his feet. But by the time they do, I think he's already started to move, and the water doesn't seem to impede him as he just keeps dancing gracefully deeper into it.
And there'll be that changeover when you step into the undertow itself, where again, you feel the world is underwater. You can see the real world, but you're also in a body of water. Like when you're in a swimming pool and you're looking up and you can kind of see out, you can kind of hear out. It's like that. Uh, but then you kind of move and it gets dark, darkened quickly, and you'll find yourself drawn along by the light currents and the moving of the waves and things. You can feel yourself, you're drifting in the undertow and the real world as well. Uh, and you're letting it kind of take you places. There are there are sandbars here. There are drop-offs. There are cold spots and currents. There are reefs. And I think at some point you will, drifting through the waves, the corridors of water, of dark, and kind of seeing the bits of light. And there are things that move in the deeps here, the depths below you, that this is, it's very easy to go down, but you're also moving along. And at some point, you will find yourself kind of walking up into one of these places is an island in the undertow. You still know that you're in the undertow because there's still that sort of feeling of water, but it's clean and clear around you. Uh, but the waters are beyond. And you will see a an island, and it is absolutely flattened. It looks like there was here like a bunch of buildings, uh, 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 like that kind of a real shanty town made out of, you know, driftwood and corrugated metal and all of that kind of thing. That must have been a big place, and maybe a goblin settlement that's absolutely been leveled. Um, and you will see that there is a figure with a manacle around their ankle and a chain that runs to the center of that ruined settlement. It's kind of squat and odd. sort of Robinson Crusoe style clothing, and it has a pile of junk by it, and it has a beard that is like most of its face is beard, like it comes out like sort of wet green tobacco stained Santa Claus. It has a fishing pole in its hand. It's flinging it out, casting out into the undertow.
I'm so sorry to have disturbed you. Can I share your island for a time with you?
Kind of stands up quickly, kind of looks at you, and you see it judge how far away you are from it. And you see it look back at the chain.
I'm so sorry. It's it's been a day and I don't know where my manners are. I'm Mr. Suit. It's lovely to meet you.
When he comes running at you, full tilt, what do you do?
I We'll see how this goes. I stand there calmly until he is right up next to me as just taking one step forward with my left foot, I continue into the spin of the dance, put one arm around him, and grab his other hand to take him into this dance that I've been traveling through here with.
Let's have you make stay strong, I think.
Ooh.
What do you want to? I assume you want to avoid him doing what he was trying to do, which is clearly get a big old chomp on you.
Oh, yes, I don't want that. Yes, I want to avoid his aggression by turning it into this dance. However
Okay,
that goes. Um, let's go with power.
makes
This
sense.
is a trick I learned from my keeper, Taker. It's a 9.
That is a 9. Uh, uh, so I think that you don't get the cost is that you don't quite get him in the dance that you want to get him in. Like you would have preferred this to be a lot more elegant and cool looking, but I think it is more that you tangle him up in that chain and then pirouette back, having calculated out exactly how much slack and distance he has, like a dog in someone's yard.
Hmm.
And because you kind of come back and he's kind of stumbled and now he's getting up and you see him recalculate where you are and recalculate the length of his chain, and he will say, "Pardon my manners."
I'm. It's fine. I've been through dry space. It must have been a while, but it's like a bicycle. It'll come back to you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you are?
GABA.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Kind of stands up. I think you realize now that if you got a chance to kind of look at him, that this is some kind of goblin, some kind of it's, it's not it's not something like you. It's not human. Maybe a goblin. It's very odd. Say, why have you come here to Tinfoil Venice?
Well, Gaba, I'm searching for information about a storm, a hurricane came through here a year or so ago, and I realize you're very busy. You have fishing and dancing practice to keep up with, but I was wondering if in between you'd seen anything of what was the name of the storm again?
Oh gosh, I think was it Daniel? I want to say. Let me get this real quick here.
Tyler says yes.
Yeah.
If you'd seen anything of Daniel as he came through.
Gestures to the collapsed town. Some hurricanes reach here into the Undertow. We had protections, but somebody had sold the stone that kept us safe. Sold it for a pretty penny or a pretty trade. And when someone called the hurricane here, used the stone and other things to do that, knocked down our settlement.
Called it? I had figured he must have a dance partner, but someone on the other side, on the shore, called it?
They called it. We know that. Wasn't natural, it's coming. We know that they used it, they called it. Why, how, what for, don't know. But the stone would have helped them with that.
Hmm. I'm sorry for the tragedy that was inflicted upon you and those here.
Too tragic story.
I tell you what, I have my card filled and I have to look into this storm. But can I join you the next time I'm looking for fish?
You're welcome to come and come closer.
Well, make sure you've brushed up on your steps by then.
I'll get the manacle ready.
Uh, and I think Suit will lean down. Is there like a pebble or some piece of rock around
Oh
here that I
yeah,
can take?
absolutely.
Yeah, scoop up that, sort of look at it for a moment, put it into his pocket, and then do a little shuffling dance step off as he whistles to himself.
Whatever they called up, it knows you came.
Well then, I should probably be polite and leave a card. And he'll lean down and leave a empty dance card
Okay.
there on the edge of the island before he dips back into the water.
That seems perfect. Uh, Marrow, what would you like to do here?
I suppose I'm going to give a call to Nameless and say that I have these party decorations.
So let me ask you at which point you want to roll the inner turmoil. Is it when you go to call them up, or do you think it's when you actually go to meet them and spend time with them putting the decorations up?
It's probably spending time with them.
Okay. And I think we do cut to Nameless sort of shocked and amazed at how brilliant and festive Lily has made this place. He'll say, when we came up, I was I was a little disappointed. I didn't think this would be so nice, but this is very nice.
Lily can work wonders.
She can. Let's here. We steady the ladder while I climb up.
Do be careful.
Now let's have you roll that inner turmoil.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Oh, what am I rolling with? Well, it's definitely sorrow. That's a 9.
That's a 9. So, would you like to mark sorrow, or mark sinking, or excuse yourself a little suddenly?
I'm gonna march sinking.
Okay.
Going to be doing a lot of that soon with my new ability I picked up.
No,
I go ahead.
go. No, no, you go ahead.
I suppose as he's climbing up and I kind of fight down the honestly the real desire to say, well, I gotta go. But I suppose as I steel myself to this, it's you certainly seem to be going all out for Doe.
Yeah, yeah. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm worried that there's someone else. I don't know what it is. I
Really?
just I don't know if it's, you know, sometimes I'm worried that being from the Court of Lanterns, that I always am looking on the worst side of things, and I'm always expecting the grief, the tragedy. I don't know whether if it's that, if there's really something, or if I'm just overthinking things, or I don't know.
Well, what makes you think that?
Just the way sometimes it's something sometimes when she says, and the way that she looks away sometimes, it's
Well, I mean, y'all haven't been together a terribly long time. It's a process where you get to know each other, and sometimes things just don't work out.
that's what I'm worried about. I don't that would I just it feels so right.
Really.
I would hate for that.
I was sort of surprised you got together. Y'all seem very different to me.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you tend to be sort of sensitive and Joe is very assertive.
She's strong in a way that
But smell isn't everything, dear.
sorry, what?
Nothing. I said that, there are many things that I'm sure very strong.
Well, what about you? I I heard through the grapevine that you and Relentless Third.
What?
That's what I heard. Were they wrong?
Yeah, I barely know Relentless.
Oh,
He was awfully friendly when I saw him last, but
oh, you may just have a secret admirer then.
wow, I don't think I've ever had a secret admirer before. Huh.
I'm sure you
But
have.
uh, uh, but he's not exactly my type.
Who is your type? He says, absolutely innocently.
Well, he's he's kind of boisterous and a little full of himself, and I tend towards quieter, more sensitive guys.
Would know that, given how close you are to Max.
Max is different.
That's for sure.
Max is a friend, and you know, it, I can't imagine ever being in a relationship. I can't imagine anyone being in a relationship with Max. But you know, he has a lot of good qualities. So, um, it looks like it's going to be a very pretty party.
Yes. The next thing, and this would be something I need your help with, I need to find the right gift for her. And I know you're good at that kind of thing. Lily's good at putting together parties, but you're good at finding things, something unique, something striking.
Well, it should be personal. It should be something that comes from you.
But you'll help me, won't you?
Yes.
Good. I knew I could count on
Well,
you. Thank you so much. I
no
appreciate
problem.
everything you've done, Marrow.
You know I'll help you however I can. Oh, by the way, you were here longer than me. Did you ever know a count underscore zero?
Yeah, he was got in a lot of trouble. He was I know he got called on the carpet for doing some set stuff through chat rooms and BBSs, um, and such. And but I heard that like he had a real they had a real like kind of loner thing to them. You know what I mean? But sort of a little bit like how Mr. Suit feels a little like a little loner, but was tight with the group.
Hmm.
Um, I heard through I can't even remember who told me this, but that a lot of what he had been doing was to get resources, money, other things for his group, for his crew. They had some kind of big plan.
Oh, because they just sort of up and disappeared.
Yeah, there was a little hubbub about that at the time, but the hurricane was here, and I mean the that the baby takers came after that. not too long. Not
Hmm.
takers of babies, but the little takers came.
Yeah. Hmm. They say they hung out at a junkyard. Wouldn't know what sort of area they were in, would you?
No, I don't.
Hmm.
No, the only person I know who wasn't part of their crew that hung with them was Hemingway.
Really?
Hmm.
Huh. Well, that might be very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I hope that helps because you've been so helpful to me, and I'm going to have to ask for your help later. So
Well, give me a call and I'll sure we'll have time.
good, good. Don't
I'm
forget to
going
mark
to
your.
go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Uh, don't forget to mark your XP for rolling inner turmoil.
Oh, yes.
Um, Lily, what
Yeah,
art thou ups to?
I told Marrow that I would look for junkyards.
Okay.
But I also have a note that I'm supposed to go see Lean and Hungry Mike. So maybe I will put those two together
Okay.
and I will go to see Lean and Hungry Mike to find out when and how we do the whole Schwann's falling, things falling off the Schwann's truck. Because I'm here as an assistant should they need me. But also, do they know anything about the local junkyards?
So I think there is a bit where, we see the like 4 a.m., you know, the trucks at the place getting loaded up in those ice boxes and things like that. And that kind of early morning packing up of things, and you two kind of standing, half a block away in a dark corner, when somebody comes rolling up with a hand cart, and uh, they're like, who's this, Mike? She's cool. She's cool. You're not 5-0, are you?
No, I'm Lily.
Okay, because if you're a cop, you got to tell me. Okay.
Look at this sweater.
Wow. That is
Not a
quite the
cop.
sweater.
Oh, cops don't have sweaters.
Wow. Wow. I feel like I just chugged a can of Jolt. Holy cow. Uh, so here's what I could get you. Bottom box is fries, frozen. Oven bake those, you know. Then middle is Neapolitan ice cream containers. Um, they're
Three
the best.
flavors.
3 flavors. And then here is the uh, meatballs.
Ooh,
You can put them in a tray like a heat up thing. And then up top, like I tried to get you something else. All I could get is, I don't know what the name of it is, that chicken that's breaded and it's got like butter in the center of it. Uh, and you cook
like
that up.
cordon bleu,
Yeah, yeah, like that. So yeah,
like that.
there's a couple dozen things of that.
Okay, cool. That's great. We've got proteins, we've got dessert. All we need is noodles. We need noodles.
Yeah, yeah,
No, 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 no. We can get noodles.
yeah, no, 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 no.
Come,
I'm saying noodles is not what they do here. So
yeah.
do that. Um, and he'll say, so that evens us up right now, Mike. And Mike will go, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're cool. We're cool. And she'll roll the cart over to this crappy panel van, and load it up in the back into like there are like 8 igloo containers, those freezer
I-
boxes.
and this is Lily's like this. You plan for everything. Brilliant.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Uh, 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 let me get these put away. Roll that hand cart back to him.
Okay.
So, how do you know Mike?
Um, friend of a friend? How do you know Mike?
Mike, Mike's my hookup.
Okay. I guess he hooked me up too.
Oh, so you're in the biz too? Yeah? Are you at the swap meets or what?
Um, I'm gonna find out. I'm like,
Okay.
an apprentice.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Hopefully I'll see some of your work at some point.
Okay, that sounds great.
And there's that says Mike to come back.
I will go running.
And Mike will say, so this is good?
Yes, we can actually go and drop it off now. They've got freezers there.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, that's great. And then I'll go and get noodles. Do you think I should make butter noodles or should we just do spaghetti since we have meatballs?
Spaghetti's good, but you
I
got to get
know.
sauce.
And try to make sauce. This has been a long time
Oh,
since.
you could do like we could do like a Swedish meatball sauce and then do like butter noodles.
Ooh, that's a good idea. That's like canned mushroom soup and some
Yeah,
other stuff, right?
you just get just big
Yeah.
cans of that. We can go down to Gordon's,
Mm.
to food services, and get a couple of cans of that stuff, warm it up.
Yes, the right soups have the recipe for the Swedish meatballs on the back.
Oh yeah,
I remember. All right.
it'll be fine.
So is this your truck?
Yeah, yeah,
This is great.
it is. I do a lot of business.
What kind of business do you do? I mean, a panel truck seems like you can do about anything.
Yeah, I do illegally copied software that I trade at swap meets.
Ooh, it's illegal, huh? That's sort of exciting.
Yeah, I'm with a group out of Singapore that do don't tell anybody because we're not supposed to do this. Like we're not
Okay.
supposed to do like long distance comms,
Okay.
but they crack the ROMs and stuff like that. And I copy them over and I go and sell them at swap meets.
Mm,
Print out fake labels and yeah, it's good money.
really?
Sometimes I get obscure software too, or there's a whole market in adult erotica software.
Sort of goes, you mean like cartoons?
Games, cartoons, collections of stuff on CD-ROMs and stuff. Like it's great because first they get a taste for it, like they get online, but the stuff's so slow to
Mm-hmm.
download. So I give them the fast stuff then. It's great.
Ooh, okay. So so that's what he meant when he said you were his hookup.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have an email?
No.
You should get an email. I'll give you my email. My email is leanandhungrymike@juno.
Okay. And the lean and is it all smashed together or are there things in between? Under
It's all one word and it's AND because if you do the
okay.
ampersand, it like fucks things up.
Okay. And Hungry Mike at Juno. I actually know this because a lot of the teachers have them too, and the principals.
I used to
So
have AOL, but
why'd you switch to Juno?
my account got banned.
Oh, I think if you're just doing anything interesting, that's just the sort of thing that's going to happen.
It is like a red badge of courage, right?
Yes, let's go hit Gordon's.
Okay. Um, you will go to Gordon's, having forgotten the junkyard entirely. Load that up and
Entirely. Just I've got my priorities.
right, absolutely. But you got a lot of food. You'll hit Gordon's.
Mhm.
You find the stuff that's on sale, the generic, mushroom soup cans
Exactly.
there, and in the big industrial things where you have to crank around on the opener.
Yep.
Uh,
We actually have to run to like the little mom and pop grocery store that's next door to get like a can of the brand name that has the recipe for
okay.
the Swedish meatballs, and then we're all set.
You also can get the hop the aluminum foil
Oh yeah, the big things. I know. Yeah,
containers, the containers
exactly.
to put
Good
things in and stuff.
thinking. So and we spend all of the 195
Absolutely.
like to the penny.
Aldo, what are you up to?
I think I will go and talk to Wisdom Whales.
Okay. You will head to that college, uh, uh, essentially the local uh, technical college with the library that nobody goes to, and head there. Kind of old building. Um, you're pretty sure that this maybe used to be like a like a grade school or a high school and kind of got converted over and stuff. Uh, uh, and
Yeah,
as
I
I
went to a
said,
different technical college. This one didn't exist 20 years ago.
yeah. uh, and like has as I mentioned before, the card catalog, and one unused touchscreen computer with orange letters on black. Um, but yeah, Wisdom will greet you and will say, "I thought that Marrow was coming too."
Uh, I mean, he sent me. He said I, he thinks you're mad at him for something, so he thought you wouldn't want to see him, I think.
Well, he has reasonable instincts, but I did ask him for assistance. You can
Oh,
tell
well,
him
I
I've
mean,
already sent his name on.
okay, yeah. Oh, the duel thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he thought that the duel isn't now, is it?
No, no, that
Oh,
isn't,
good.
is it?
Okay. No, I
Right?
mean, I'm asking you. I wouldn't
No, no,
know.
no. I sent his name on to the respective parties. So
Ah,
he may
okay.
be hearing from someone.
Out of curiosity, who are the respective parties?
Just some goblins.
Just, I mean, goblins are pain in the ass.
They are, there are different, as I discovered, uh, familial lines of them, some more organized than others, some more interspersed than others, let us say. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
we had a
probably.
disagreement over a collection.
Ah, yeah, okay. That makes sense. They get real possessive, um, once they think something's theirs.
Yeah.
At least the ones I've dealt with. I haven't, I haven't met the goblins who are not like that. I'm sure there are. Maybe the ones I've dealt with are all from the same family.
Might well be. All goblins have teeth, and they like to use them. Just remember that.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have. Yes, I'm aware of that.
So, how can I help you?
Well, so um, Marrow said you had some information. I guess not about the duel. Although, if you do have information about the duel, I'm sure Marrow would like to know it, and I'll tell him whatever it is. But about the people that disappeared.
Oh, there was he wasn't particularly clear about what he was looking into, but it was those
I'm
four.
guessing that's what he wanted to know about. It's
Yeah, I he asked me about the Hurricane Daniel. Um,
yes,
so that's what he was looking into, was the four that vanished.
yeah, yeah.
What is it you want to know?
I mean, what happened to them where they are now? But I'm guessing if you do know that, I would like to know that. But anything that could anything at this point because we know nothing.
You've already probably picked up that they're unusual, that like you, they were a disparate group drawn from across kinds and courts. Uh, they they kept themselves close to one another. There were there were rumors that they had some run-ins slash interactions with other supernaturals. The witches was spoken of. There was a rumor that they had an immortal patron at one point. Uh, the one who,
I'm scribbling this all down on the back of a receipt
right,
because I didn't think to bring a notebook.
the one who I knew was Lub. Um, he was a, let me think if I how to put this. It, did you see that movie that came out last year, The Big Lebowski?
Uh, no, no, I wasn't back yet. I think
Okay.
last
Uh,
year.
it, when I saw that movie, that's all I could think of. He was kind of a get along drifter type, but with a weird coiled feeling of steel below that. He was very good at insinuating himself um, amongst people.
Hmm.
Uh, he could walk the beaches and come across a group of tourists and suddenly be their guide, like with no problem. He could fleece them and leave them walking away smiling, like he was that kind of person. And it seemed funny, but you could tell that he had sunk. I don't know if you've had this. There are some of us who drift back badly over time. It gives some gifts, it gives more magics, but it makes you more like the takers. And he he seemed good and charming, but you could tell that he had taken some steps down that path, that he had walked and he was at least up to his waist, if not deeper in that water. The
Oh,
only time I saw him be like actually where I had a sense that he was empathetic was the other job that he did. He was a dog walker. He did that to pick up money. He was always kind to them, always had a sense he cared about them in a way that when he was talking to mortals, a sense that he didn't care about them the same way.
hmm.
A lot of what you probably hear is that everything was crazy after that hurricane and that there was a lot of weirdness that went on in the immediate aftermath and there were hints about the takers and things. But don't underestimate that no one liked them.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody we've talked to about them. Um,
I don't know who, but I know they hurt some people in our community.
hmm.
And I don't think anyone is sad that they're gone.
Well, that explains maybe why nobody knows what happened to them. Nobody bothered to look.
I don't mean to be awful, but that's the truth of the thing.
But now they want us to look. Wonder why.
Who wants you to look?
Who does want us to look? I don't remember.
The people from the courts ask you to look. They told you not to mention exactly why they're looking for them, which has to do with the prophecy. That was the one thing they asked. They didn't
Right.
say
Okay.
don't mention that we told you to do this, but don't mention why.
Why? Yeah. Okay. So you know, the Dukes, I don't know, maybe they're just getting around to something and they feel like they should do it.
Let's hope so. Well, I hope that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does. Hopefully.
Oh, I could
Thank
tell
you.
you where they had one of their hovels.
Oh, yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me go. Pulls goes. See them pull out unfold a map of Mobile, lays it out flat, and goes. I think in this area of the city there was a junkyard that they made their squat for a while. I don't know if they were there at the end, but that definitely was their place for a while.
Okay.
I
Well,
know
yeah,
because
that's
it's all haunted up the ass now.
okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Hmm. And Marrow, I think we come back to you in your apartment, and there is a
I get up and I leaving the chain on, but open the door.
okay, and you will look, and you don't see anyone, and then you kind of look down, and you will see a kind of leathery Stetson and a duster
Ah,
on this 3 foot tall goblin, craggy face, like deep riveted kind of. It almost looks like his face is more made out of crevasses than it is exposed skin. She's got a little like belt buckle on, and shoes, and he will say, "You might be Marrow. I think we have some business to discuss." And that's what we're going to take up next time.
Good.
Sound
All
reasonable?
righty. Yes.
Let's go to end of session. Uh, Mr. Suit, did you express something of your changeling nature, of your yokai
Uh,
nature, of your sunken nature?
I think very much,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the sort of getting things back under control and that scene in the Undertow.
Yeah. And I think at the beginning you expressed your humanity again. I think we got that right.
Yeah, he finally sort of opened up and let go a little bit of what's been eating at him.
Yeah. Did you interact with your entanglement or rival, either one of those?
Don't think I did.
Okay. That's still
There
two
was
points.
there was some nice tangential stuff, with some of Marrow's things, but not me personally.
Not yet.
So how much
Uh,
did you say? Sorry,
2 points then.
two. Cool, thank you.
Marrow. Do we see something of your changeling nature?
Hmm. I'm not sure if we
I
saw
think we
too
saw
much
more of your
changeling stuff.
humanity this time. I think we really dug
Yeah.
into that. So, and you definitely interacted with your entanglements.
Hmm.
So that feel like 2 points?
It does. And I guess this would also be the time I'll let you. I picked up cracks in the surface.
Ah,
So at the end of every session, I mark seeking. And when I get a sunken advance, I actually get two.
excellent. And you get to choose it from any of the moods. You don't have to set
Any of the
yourself
moves.
down to one track
Yeah.
there. Okay. That is a good move, but it is also a move that takes you down that path.
Yes, 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 yes.
Don't worry, Lily will save you.
Uh, Lily, did you express your changing nature?
I think I did. I made
Definitely
everything fabulous.
your contracts and such.
Yep,
Did you express your humanity?
I think I did. Um, because uh I well, I spent time with Lean and Hungry Mike, but I wanted to be friends with Lean and Hungry Mike's friends. So that's
That seems right.
yep.
And did you interact with your rival or your uh, entanglements?
Entanglements, yes, Marrow.
Yeah,
I helped Marrow, even though it kind of made me sad.
kind
But
of
I did
kills
all
you.
these things so
Yeah.
that yes, I
So
can
that's
get them
three.
together. Okay.
Aldo, did you express your changing nature?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, following up on the goblins, tracking them down,
Mhm.
using your abilities there. Did you express your humanity?
Um, Not particularly.
Okay. Uh,
I think you did.
Oh,
I think particularly when you did the cigarette on the steps uh, with the like at the in the basement there. I think that was kind of a thing of
okay,
like
yeah.
warding them off
yeah.
from human things.
Also going investigating this the body was a certain kind of humanity and protectiveness there. So yeah, let's say that.
Okay.
Did you interact with your entanglements or your rival?
No, not really.
Okay, so that's still 2 points though. Hey puppy. Uh let's do stars and wishes. Mr. Suit.
Yeah, this was really neat. I really enjoyed the scene with Marrow and working out some of the less tightly controlled aspects of Mr. Suit. And just the whole thing with Nameless and Sherry. I loved seeing Lily play just like wildly overt matchmaker. Like not even trying to pretend, just like pushing Marrow out the door, like go, it's not a date, but it's a date. Go on your date. That's not a date. It's fine.
Together for you.
Um and just so something that started coming together in this, I don't know, it's just a weird like feeling I got in this session of there's something about Wisdom Wales. Like she is more important and or sinister than I think either any of us are thinking. It was sort of fascinating to watch her as she had interactions with, three of us last time and this time all separately, as she like picked out these pieces of information that people individually didn't really like see her hunting down. And also, Lowell, you just whether she is villainous in some way or not, you had this great way with her of she just constantly restates very calmly and plainly either what we just said or what we're asking for, and somehow it is so threatening. Just- she's just saying exactly what we said, but clearer, and ending it with a sort of like, are you sure this is what you meant to say? All right, you've said that now. And it's very off-putting.
Oh, good.
Um, Wishes. I don't know. I'm definitely curious to see more of the duel nonsense.
Okay.
And uh, this whole idea of the storm as a personified essence, as a called essence, as a form of something bigger. That's very cool. I want to dig more into that, like living storm aspect of this.
I dig it. Yeah. Marrow.
This was a great session. Everybody did cool things. I really enjoyed my time talking with Suit. I liked us all together. I enjoy when we have a chance when we're all together. Um, I think everybody dug information out in deep ways. I think that was fun. Everybody's interactions were super cool. These characters, I think, are coming together really strongly. We're getting really good, strong personalities from them. But as for wishes, I'm looking forward to talking with this goblin. And I really want to go to the junkyard.
Okay. Aldo.
Yeah, I think everyone has said the things that I really liked the conversation between Marrow and Mr. Suit at the beginning. Like there's things sort of revealed about both of them, about like what's behind their what's behind their motivations. And Lily once again completely forgetting about the investigation. Yep. Like but also that whole interaction with like the guy stealing stuff from the truck, like and Lily's just excitement over putting together this party in this way, like, oh, illegal, that sounds cool. Awesome. And let's see. I'm looking forward to seeing the goblins on screen because we've mentioned them a lot, and this is the first one we've seen, or first time we've seen them as to them this time. But uh, and um, so wish for me is to actually interact with my entanglements and like get Ali Doja's yeah, go interact with her somehow.
Okay.
Because I have these entanglements that I've just been not paying much attention to.
All right. We'll make sure we get them on screen. Lily.
This was great. I think Marrow is both in some ways the most heart on his sleeve, but also the most catty of us all, I have to say. I have nothing but respect for Marrow and their spine. They are unstoppably strong, and you just wouldn't tell it from the mildness of their appearance. I love Morrow. Mr. Suit is just a fabulous whirlwind of fear and certainty. I really like that because it's very disastrous. It's like you're afraid of the things that I'm not sure why you're afraid of, and then you're super brave in the face of things that caution might have been called for. Had you asked Lily, but that's okay. Good learning experience for the both of us at some point. Should we survive? I thought Aldo's story was terrific this time. I loved watching Aldo watch over his neighborhood, look out after, look out at the house. Like as much as anything, the neighborhood is what he's watching, the people, but the house and like checking on that. And I did love that cigarette on the stairway thing was just such a good touch. And just how matter of fact and upfront you were with Wisdom Wales, I think was just really nice. Like you kind of went in there and you did the thing, and it was exactly what was needed to get us to that next step. So it was good to do. I had a lot of fun trying the stuff. I always forget we have contracts. They're super powerful to do a thing that you want to do. And of course, they can get you in a ton of trouble. Yay. But yeah, it was fun. I'm highly distractible, but she also will absolutely be there for y'all when you have to think, don't you worry. And now she has a superpower because of that sweater. So very, very, very pleased with that. It was good times. Thank you, Lil.
Anything wishes wise?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to. I should say I have not gotten in the way of Semolina Pilchard. But I think that essentially that will probably be something that I'll be looking for
Okay.
at that point. So,
That
but
seems fair.
also we're gonna find this junkyard, dang it.
Yeah.
I think we should all be racing towards the junkyard and just stroll up to it all at the same time from our own paths. So
I was just glad we were able to do some 90s references, being able to mention Juno, and the fact that Big Lebowski came out the
Oh
year
my
before.
god, Juno absolutely killed me. I floated out of my body. I disassociated 20 years into the past.
I know. I was like, oh yeah. I remember when we had to end that, like, and I had tried to archive that bullshit, and oh my God.
yeah, oh yeah, and it took so long, remember?
Oh God.
But for me, the modem sounds are still like I have them in my dreams. So
Yes.
what can I say?
All right. I am going to stop the recording.